Welcome to Clued in Mystery. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Brooke, and we both love mystery.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Sarah. It's so good to be back recording with you again.
Yeah, after a little holiday break, it's so nice to start to slip back into routine.
Exactly. And we get to talk about what we read over our break. So, books and friends, and this is going to just be so much fun. So I'll get started. And if you listened to the previous episode where we discussed what we were planning to read, you'll remember that I chose all holiday themed books. And so the first one that I read was Death of a Christmas Tree Salesman. This is by our friend Patricia Meredith. And I just found this to be completely delightful. You know, she says in the description that there are enough Christmas puns within the story to choke a reindeer. And she was not kidding, but they were great. And I laughed out loud so many times. So in this story, we have Sam Shovel, not Sam Spade, but Sam Shovel is the noir style fedora wearing snowman who must solve the mystery of who killed O. Tannenbaum, the Christmas tree supplier. And Patricia's husband, Andrew, narrates the audiobook. And that's what I listened to. And I was so impressed. He had different accents and nuances for each character, and he's very talented. It was fantastic. Patricia did release another story in the Sam Shovel series this year. So it's like Frosty. He comes back each Christmas.
Brooke, that sounds so good. And I've read the description for the book a few times, and it only just occurred to me Sam Shovel, Sam Spade.
I know. I know. I was a little ways in and this character, talks like that kind of a character from one of the noir movies, and it finally dawned on me, okay, we've got Sam Shovel here. It was very cute.
It sounds like so much fun, and I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. And so if people recall what my list didn't include any Christmas books, but I did have a Christmas show, which I'll talk about later. And I did feel a little bit, after we talked last, Brooke, I felt a little bit maybe Scrooge like because I didn't have any Christmas books. And I was hoping to get a Christmas book in, and I just didn't have time. So I had to stick to the list that we'd talked about before. And so I will start by talking about The Last Word by Elly Griffiths. And this was a 2024 release from her. And I just love her easy writing style. And I think this is the fourth book I think it's a loose series featuring the same recurring characters. Some of them are featured more or less depending on the book. Um, and I think, Brooke, when you and I talked about the things that we were hoping to read over the holiday season. You mentioned wondering why you haven't read more of Elly Griffiths, and I wonder the same thing. I find the books in this series are such a delight, and I really do like that a couple of books feature these group of friends who are the main investigators, and a couple of the other books feature their police detective friend Harbinder Kaur. And I like that there's some flexibility in terms of the way that she's just created this world, that you're not always getting that same point of view in each of the books. So I do hope that there's another in this series at some point. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like that you said it's a loose series. That's a good way to describe it. And it's really clever. And in some ways, it kind of breaks the rules that they tell us as authors, doesn't it? That
Hmm.
it's not this very strict and structured series, but I agree. I enjoy it very much. And you feel like you're getting to know the different characters. So the next one I'll mention is a short story. I read The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding. This is an Agatha Christie from 1923. It originally was published in the sketch magazine. And I mean, you really can't go wrong with a Christie at Christmas. It was very good. This is a Poirot mystery. He gets called in to apprehend a jewel thief. And so we have a mystery without murder. So that's very, holiday and a little bit more romantic and atmospheric. And one thing I loved about this story is the way that the culprit was caught. Just one variable, one thing happens to kind of foil their plan, and it reveals who the culprit is. And I think that's so fun when a mystery does that, where the plan of the bad guy just goes just a little bit awry, and it opens up the door for the detective to apprehend them. So it's a winner.
I read that a while ago and thought I might have been able to squeeze it in over all of the kind of wildness that happens over the holidays. And maybe I'll have to save that for next year, Brooke, to reread it. So the next that I'm going to talk about is another 2024 release, and this is Such Charming Liars by Karen M. McManus. This is a YA, and very typical of Karen McManus's style. I have enjoyed all of the books that I've read, and this is the same for this book. And I think actually it might have been my favorite of her books. There's a death, so I can't say that it's a mystery without murder, but the book is far more focused on a heist rather than the murder. So it was a little lighter. There's humor, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's great. That is an author, one of those that I have not read yet. So I need to put that on a future list. And the last book that I had on my list was probably my favorite read of the winter break, and that was The Christmas Murder Game. This is a 2022 release by Alexandra Benedict, and I just really enjoyed this book. It had all the things that I like. We had family secrets and a big old house, a contested will that's like that has a contrived treasure hunt between the cousins to determine who will get to inherit it. It was just really well done. It has an excellent twist that I did see coming, but it was still fun when the reveal happened. Um, I will definitely read more. I would like to read more. I think that she has other holiday themed mysteries, so I look forward to those in future years.
So I think I actually have read that book.
I think you mentioned that you had.
But I didn't realize that she's got other holiday themed mysteries. So I think I enjoyed it when I read it. It would have been a couple of years ago. Um, but I would also read another by her. So the last book that I had on my list was Patricia Highsmith's Strangers on a Train, and this was released in 1950, but it really didn't read like it was written 75 years ago. It's well paced, well plotted, and I think largely stands up. And really, I think I mentioned this when in the first episode about these. Um, she is like the OG uh, suspense writer, and so it was really interesting just to read that and think about the impact that she has had on the genre, because there's lots of conventions in her book that we see continue to appear in books that are written now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I mentioned in the original episode about our TBR list is that I really love this movie, the Alfred Hitchcock rendition, but I have never read the book. So I'm so glad to hear that it holds up, and that's really exciting. So, we also included a show that we intended to watch over break. And my pick was Man on the Inside. And this is a Netflix 8 episode series featuring Ted Danson as a widow who gets placed in a retirement community in order to solve a mystery. And I did enjoy it. I actually haven't finished the entire series, but I did enjoy it. But I feel like it's more of a sitcom than an actual mystery. And the situation that's created is that this older gentleman is placed inside the retirement center. It gives them the opportunity for the jokes and the character development and things like that. there wasn't a lot of investigating, but what I thought was interesting was the way that mystery is so popular right now, and it is obviously even influencing the shows that are made that maybe aren't, straight up mysteries. The sitcoms, the dramas, the different things that we're all being watching and being entertained by is having this influence because there was sort of this Richard Osman, nod within the show. And I think that you watched some of this too, didn't you, Sarah?
I did. That's right, Brooke. And yeah, I don't think we finished the series yet, but I felt very similarly to you in that it wasn't so much a mystery. There was definitely a storyline that featured a mystery, but it wasn't driving the story. It was really about, this man and um his experience, I think largely with grief, right? As he's still
Mhm.
um
Yes.
finding his way after having lost his wife of many years. But it was good. It's sweet and an easy way to pass a couple of evenings.
Mhm, absolutely.
So the pick that I had to watch is also from Netflix, and this is Black Doves. And I would say it was billed as being a Christmas action thriller, and it is Christmassy in the way that Die Hard is Christmassy because it's set around the holidays. But it's really not, it is not a uplifting story at all. Um, uh, but I did like it. It's a 6-hour-long episodes, and the storytelling moves between finding out how Keira Knightley's character becomes a black dove, and how past events influence the present, where she is, married to a high-ranking member of the British government, and she's been passing information along that, um, to another organization. Um, I really did enjoy it. I did find it a little bit harder to tell if it was like a flashback scene
Mm.
because Ben Wishaw, who's the other kind of star character in the show, I didn't find like his character looked that different between the past and the present, and so sometimes I was like, "Oh, is this happening now, or is he remembering something?" Um, but I did like it, and there's lots of guns and lots of shooting. So if that's not your thing, and it's, may not be everybody's thing at Christmas, it may not be for you.
Exactly. Well, it sounds great, and I kind of have that on my, radar for something to watch this winter as well.
Well, Brooke, it was so fun to hear about what you read over the holiday season, and this always makes me excited because it means that we are starting our next season of this show, and it's so fun to read and watch and talk about mystery with you.
I know, I'm looking forward to it, and everyone, we have such a great lineup of new episodes coming up. We're just really excited to get planning and to get to recording, and we hope that you'll join us. But for today, thank you for being here on Clued in Mystery. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Sarah, and we both love mystery.
Clued in Mystery is written and produced by Brooke Peterson and Sarah M. Stephen. Music is by Shane Ivers. If you liked what you heard, please consider telling a friend, leaving a review, or subscribing with your favorite podcast listening app. Visit our website at cluedinmystery.com to sign up for our newsletter, The Clued In Chronicle, or to join our paid membership, The Clued In Cartel. We're on social media at Clued In Mystery.